Okay, class, let's learn about line equations. Line equations are graphs produced by something like y equal to something times x plus a number. And in general, when you have y equals to mx plus b, this m will be called the slope, and this will be called the y-intercept. And I'll explain why these are so as we graph. So let's try y equals to 3x plus 1. Of course, the easiest way to draw a graph would be to make a table, x and y, and then you plug in 0, you get 1. You plug in 1, you get 4. And you plug in 2, you get, what's that? If you plug in 2, 2 times 3 plus 1 is? 7. Okay. So you have these points. Let's try to draw them. So since it goes all the way to 7, I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Try to be evenly spaced as possible. 0, 1, 2. Okay, 0, 1, 2. And then we'll start plugging in these points, plotting these points. 0, comma 1, what's that? Over at x coordinate 0,
y is
1. So you have this point. Good? 0, comma 1. Right. And then when x is 1, y will be 1, 2, 3, 4 here. You plot that, okay? And then when x is 2, y is 7. So you go to 0, 1, 2, and then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over there. So that's the point, over 2. Okay. Now, if you keep doing this, you plug in more and more points, you're going to see that this equation, y equals to 3x plus 1, will give you a straight line. I wish I had a ruler, but that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a straight line, right? Now, there are a couple of things that you should notice in this graph. One thing is that when x is 0, y is 1. And the graph passes the y-axis. See, this is the y-axis, and the graph passes the y-axis at 1. Okay? And as I said, if the graph passes the y-axis at some number, that's called the y-intercept. And since there's this 1 here, that's why you have 1 there. In other words, whenever you have a graph, an equation of the form y equals to mx plus some number, that number will be where the graph will pass through the y-intercept, okay, through the y-axis. Therefore, it will be the y-intercept. Got it? Okay. Now, that's the first thing I want you to notice. And the second thing I want you to notice is that because this is equal to 3, this value is 3. Every time x is increased by 1, y gets increased by how much?
3.
3, right? So look, x increased by 1 plus 1, right? What happened to y? 1 to 4 plus how much?
3.
1 plus 3 gives you 4, right? Now 1 to 2, x increased how much?
1.
Plus 1, and y increased by?
3.
Plus 3, okay? And that's why we call this the slope. So whatever this number is, that tells you how much y will increase as you increase x by 1. In other words, in this graph, it goes like this. Every time you go one step to the right, plus 1, and then you end up going up how much? Plus 3 in the y. Okay? And then you go 1 to the right, and you end up going 3 in the y. Now you continue this forever. Also, if you decrease by 1, it's going to decrease by 3. So you continue this forever. Now, don't you see that that's going to give you a line? Right? You'll always be evenly spaced, so you're going to get a line, right? So that's one reason why when you see this, you're going to expect that the graph will look like a line. Okay? It will be a line. Yeah. Okay. Now there is a very important formula that you have to know. given from this, which is that the slope, which we usually use the letter m, this is equal to the change of y over change of x. Okay. And in this example, what's the change of y? 3. Y increased by 3. So change of y is 3. What's the change of x? 1. So in our example, this is like m is equal to 3 over 1. And the reason I say this is because not only you have to be able to go from the equation to the graph, you should also be able to go from the graph to the equation. When you see a graph like this, then you should be able to do the following. First, read off the y-intercept. Okay, 1. That means b must be 1, right? And also, look at how y is increasing. So from this point to that point, what's the change in the y-axis? From 1 to 4, that's 3, right? And what's the change in x? 1. So you do change in y over change of x, and you calculate that and get 3 over 1. And then you have this number, you can get it. Okay. So let me give you the second example just so that you understand what I mean. So try the following. Let's say you have 3 here, and then 1 comma 1, and then 2 comma negative 1. And you have this straight line connecting this. Question is, what is the equation of the line? The equation. Okay. Let's do the same exact exercise as we have done before. First, what's the y-intercept? In this graph, what's the y-intercept? 3. You see 3. So what's the value? What's that tell us? The value of, in the y equals to mx plus b, which one does it tell us?
B is 3.
B is equal to 3. That's what we get, right? Good? And then we pick 2 points and we calculate the change of y over change of x. And from this point to that point, what's the change of y? It was 3 before, and now it became 1.
Negative 2 over 1.
Negative, yeah, don't say the whole answer yet. So change of y is just negative 2 because it went from 3 to 1. It decreased by 2, right? A quick way to figure that out is to do terminal minus initial. So final value of y is 1, and the initial value of y is 3. If you subtract like that, then you get negative 2. That's the change in y. Now, what is change in x? 1. Right? Went from here to there, the x coordinate changed from 0 to 1, right? Or you can also say 1 minus 0 equal to 1. And since you have these, now the slope is change of y over change of x, which is negative 2 over 1, and that's negative 2. What does that tell us? M or B? M equals to negative 2. So what's the answer to this question? The answer would be y equals to negative 2x plus 3.